The Ottawa Senators are extremely pleased to select from the Boston U Terriers, Brady Tkachuk.
Derek Brassard drops, going in, scores! 2-on-1, goes around.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at @SensTalk_ for lots of updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. After every single Sens game, we tweet out a poll for you, the fans, voting for the Sens Talk Star of the Night. So make sure to stay tuned at the end of this video for the results of the poll. Now, before we get into tonight's recap between the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor SeatGeek for sponsoring tonight's video. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They rate the tickets between a 0 to 10 score, with 10 being great and 0 not so great. A great algorithm they use on the app or on the website SeatGeek.com is you have red, orange, and green dots all over the event map. So if you see a green dot in the front row seats, it means it's a great deal, either below face value or about face value. So you're not losing any money here, and you're actually getting a cheaper ticket than the regular price. If you see a red dot or orange dot, it means you're either paying. Orange dot means you're paying a little more. Red dot means you're paying much more. It's overpriced. Avoid it. So if you want to buy tickets right away, SeatGeek is easy for that. You can see where you want to buy the tickets. You can buy the tickets right away. It's easy. Great system they have there at SeatGeek, and overall it's just a very clean, effective, organized system to use. Another great bonus from this is use my promo code SENSTALK to save $20 off your first purchase. I repeat, $20 off your first purchase. Using that code really helps the channel out, and you get to save $20. So besides that, I'll see you now in the rest of the video for the Sens versus Habs recap. So before we get to tonight's recap, we have a couple of things to discuss before the video recap begins. So firstly, everyone knows about the news about DevCore being interested in redeveloping LeBreton Flats. It was all over the news the last few days. I didn't do a video about it because it's basically pretty simple. There's not much to talk about. What this does is it forces Eugene Melnyk to either find a new partner quickly, and that probably won't happen. So the realistic chance of what's going to happen here is that if they get it, let's say if DevCore gets the bid, that's the Circus Group, with the Cirque du Soleil, the ones that wanted to buy the Senators, then they would either force Melnyk into bankruptcy or force him to sell the team. Practically, it's one of the two options. So it's looking good for Melnyk to sell the team eventually, but don't get your hopes up because Melnyk is very stubborn, and the NCC has everything in very long thing, so don't get yourself too excited about it yet. A long way to go before Melnyk sells the team. Now, let's speak of another Ottawa team, the Ottawa 67, who I might actually start making a few videos on. They are absolutely spectacular. I haven't spoken about them enough this year. Like I said previously, I'll say it again. I might start doing a weekly update video on the Ottawa 67. They are the best team in the OHL, a top 3 team in the CHL, and they just acquired the best goaltender in Canadian junior hockey. Michael DiPietro is an Ottawa 67. He was traded from the Windsor Spitfires. He's probably going to be the starting goalie for Team Canada at the World Junior Championships, along with Formanton, who's going to be a top 6 forward there, maybe the captain. Jacob Bernard-Docker was also invited to the camp. Maybe he'll make the team. But Michael DiPietro, congratulations. Welcome to Ottawa. And this is solidifying the Ottawa 67 is a real contender to win the Memorial Cup. And you'll see me at a few games this year, that's for sure, a bunch of games, more. I went to some last year. I'm going to try to go to many more this year. It's definitely worth the admission fee. And, I'm going to definitely start thinking about it, Ottawa 67's report, because this team is deadly, and they're exciting to watch. Now, let's move on to another NHL news. Seattle is expanding officially into the National Hockey League 32nd team with the move. Arizona is to the Central Division in 2021 when the first season of the National Hockey League for Seattle begins. Interesting here, 2020 is when the CBA comes up, the Players Bargaining Agreement. And 2021, when they start, clearly shows that the NHL is expecting a lockout, or they're ready for a lockout in 2020. Interesting note there. Now let's get into tonight's game. Ottawa Senators versus the Montreal Canadiens. With the Senators win tonight, they would extend their winning streak to 4 games in a row and would go back into a playoff spot. But the Canadiens have that final playoff spot, and they're not trying to lose that playoff spot. So the starting goaltenders is Carey Price, with an .898 save percentage this season, and Craig Anderson is a .903 save percentage for the Ottawa Senators. So the first period you go. It's a shaky little start. The Senators are not playing well the first 10 minutes. A few minutes after the 10-minute mark, they start to play well, but a bad turnover. It's a 2-on-1. Drouin gives it, Domi gives it right to Drouin after a bad pinch by CC, leaves Drouin all alone. He beats Craig Anderson 1-0. Canadians heading to the second period. 9 minutes in, a shot from the point. Boom! Dylan DeMello, his third of the year. His third in 28 games for the Ottawa Senators. With San Jose in 133 games with San Jose, he only had 3. So in 28 games with the Ottawa Senators, he already has 3 goals. DeMello. And it's a 1-1 tie. Mikhail Bodker and Chris Turney on the goal. It's a San Jose goal for the Ottawa Senators. But 5 minutes later, Max Domi. No coverage here. It's a 2-1 lead back for the Montreal Canadiens. Ben Harper, what are you doing there? He's just standing there. And then he pinches off right to Drouin once again. And Drouin just finds Domi, who beats Craig Anderson blocker's side. No chance for him. Minutes later, Domi again, 3-1, no chance. Minutes later, Lehkonen, no chance, 4-1. 3 goals in 3:39. Game over. As the Senators fall 5-2. Gallagher gets 1. Stone gets 1. His 13th from Duchesne. And the Senators fall to the Montreal Canadiens 5-2. And they must win on Thursday if they want to keep a good distance between them and that final playoff spot. If they lose that game, they'll be in a very, very bad position to make the playoffs. And that Thursday game against the Canadiens, a home series, is sort of a must-win early on in this season. It is December, though, so it's time to look at the standings. So, like I just said, Senators allowed 3 goals in 39 seconds. Effectively costed them the game because the first 10 minutes of the first period was not good. But after that, to midway to later in the second period, the Senators and the Canadiens were playing a very even game. But the Canadiens took over midway through the second period and just finished them off in the third. Senators have given up 40-plus shots for the 10th time out of 28 games this season, which is not good if you couldn't figure that one out. As well, Falk played this game. Lajoie was out if I didn't mention that prior. But Craig Anderson is going to need some help. They did an update on Mike Condon at the first intermission with Bruce Garriock, and he said that Condon should be back in a couple of weeks. He's taking some shots with Jean-Gabriel Pageau, rehabbing in Ottawa. He'll be sent down to Belleville for a week, and then he'll come back to Ottawa. So expected 2 weeks until Mike Condon's back. And if he doesn't do well, expect a trade or some sort of move for an actual solidified backup goaltender. I don't know if Mike Condon will be, but hopefully he will be that goaltender. And so the Senators' last 9 games versus the Montreal Canadiens are 2-6-1. 2-6-1. That's not that good. And that's why I'm not too nervous. Because firstly, the Senators are not too good on the road. They've lost the majority of their games on the road. Majority of their losses have been on the road. And they haven't played well against Carey Price and the Montreal Canadiens in the recent memory. So in Ottawa, the Senators have fared a little better against the Canadiens and much better in the season record. But I'm not too worried about their performance tonight just because the Canadiens seem to have that edge on us when we're in the Bell Center. It's a very intimidating arena to play in. It's sort of like the Senators in Carolina. We don't know why, but they just can't play well there. Same thing here in Montreal. If this was a performance like this against, I don't know, a team like Buffalo or something, I'd be a little more concerned. Even though Buffalo's playing very well, the Senators should have more fight, but the Senators just didn't have any match for the Canadiens' speed. Shots on goal 41-30 in favor of the Canadiens. Faceoffs 28-24 Senators. Power plays, both teams did not score 0-3, 0-2 for the Senators. Firstly, hits for 33-20 in favor of the Canadiens. And third star of the game, Brendan Gallagher with a goal. Second star, 2 assists, 1 goal, Jonathan Drouin. And the first star, Max Domi, 2 goals, 1 assist. Let's get to the Sens Stock Star of the Night, voted by you, the fans. So an honorable mention before we get to the results is to Bobby Ryan. He was all over the ice, and overall this season he's been much better than I expected. And, he was an honorable mention. I thought 4th place was Mark Stone. I thought he had, once again, a great game with Stone and with Brady Tkachuk and, of course, Colin White. So Bobby Ryan falls out. He's 5th, I guess. He's an honorable mention. 4th star of the night, Mark Stone, 4% of the vote. He had a goal tonight, but realistically could have had a 2-3-4 point night. The Senators couldn't bury the opportunities tonight. Multiple chances for Brady Tkachuk, hitting the post twice. Colin White, a couple of breakaway chances. That line looked great. They couldn't get it, though. Fourth star of the night, Mark Stone. Third star of the night with 26% of the vote. Very close. 1% ahead of the second star of the night. Matt Duchene with his third star of the night. He had a couple of great passes, a couple assists, and honestly, Matt Duchene broke Shea Weber's ankle, so that puts him on the board easily. But Matt Duchene's just a great talent, and he was all over the ice, and Sanders just couldn't bear the chances tonight, and Duchene was a big reason why they even had those chances in the first place. 27% of the vote is number 7, Brady Tkachuk. I think even though he was held scoreless tonight, and he was a -3, I believe, Brady Tkachuk was all over the ice, hit the post multiple times, 2 times to be exact. A couple of big saves from Price on Brady Tkachuk, getting into it with some of the Habs players, and overall, one of those games where it just wasn't going in the right way for the Sanders in general, but specifically for Brady Tkachuk. So he had a good game, and I'm assuring you that he'll fare much better on the score sheet Thursday against the Canadiens. So I'm telling you, when he gets that sold out, I'm assuming it's gonna be sold out building going, you'll see a great celebration for him and Mark Stone. First star of the game, what about you, the fans? 43% of the vote. Colin White, like I said previously, I'll say it again. Multiple breakaway chances, big saves from Price on him. Colin White has really shown us what he was drafted to be. He's had a great season so far, and hopefully he keeps it going, because Colin White, yeah, I'm glad I was wrong. I wasn't too high on him going into the season. I had said that if the Sanders want to be successful this season in my live stream with Trevor Shackles, that Colin White, Bobby Ryan would have to produce, and they are producing so far, both of them, but respectfully, Colin White's found good chemistry with Brady Tkachuk and Mark Stone, so it's very encouraging to see him continue to play well, and great speed on the kid as well. Besides that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support. The next Sens game is Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time versus, once again, the Montreal Canadiens. Sort of a must-win game for the Sanders to keep their odds better than not for the playoff race. And the Sanders' record now falls to 13-3 on the season. Their losing streak is snapped at 3 games in a row. They now have lost 1 in a row. Besides that, thank you for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at Senstalk_. For live updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. Please like us on Facebook at Senstalk. Add us to circles on Google Plus Senstalk. Click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. Share this video wherever you share cool stuff. Like this video. And, of course, please check out our website, SenstalkCentral.com. We update that every single day. Please check out SeatGeek.com or download the app on the App Store and save $20 off your first purchase using our promo code SensTalk on when you're buying your tickets. Besides that, final score 5-2 for the Montreal Canadiens. Sanders records 12-13-3 on the season. I'll see you Thursday when the Sanders take on the Montreal Canadiens in Ottawa. I'll see you then. Go Sens, go.